Welcome, everybody, to the Yes or No podcast. With me,
Lisette.
let us know a little bit about you.
Well, I am a mom of three, a wife. Caesar's my husband. I love art, music, anything with anything that has to do with art, and medicine and psychology, and pretty much that's it. I mean, can't think of anything right now, but yeah.
And I'm Caesar, father of three, married for 10 years. I love boxing, love sports, football, basketball, love the gym, love the lift, trying to start a weight loss journey. Hopefully, you guys will be able to keep me accountable. So, this podcast today, our goal mainly going to be about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
all types of relationships. Today, basically, we're going to touch a topic on social media and how it affects relationships,
Mm-hmm.
right? Both positively and negatively. To begin with, can you think of any way that social media affects relationships in general?
Effects. Comparing yourself, your relationship with other relationships. That's a negative way. Everybody has unique relationships.
Do you have one example?
Mm, I guess, not every couple is affectionate. Everybody shows their love differently. We just got to learn how everybody shows their love. I guess some couples can be more affectionate than another, and then you start wondering, putting yourself ideas, or maybe other people putting ideas in you, thinking, hey, why he's not so, like touchy or giving you kisses or hugging you, the other couple, they do that, they look like they're in love, you guys don't look like that, so you start comparing yourself, so that it's in a negative way.
You're right. You're right. I also, in my time, we called it keeping up with the Joneses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Social media nowadays has actually magnified that 100 times. Oh, honey, look, such and such takes his wife out to 4 vacations a year. Why
Mm-hmm.
we only get one? Or I don't think you're doing enough. So we see that the comparison could lead to a lot of negative things. But I want to go back to a positive thing, right? One of the positive things that I was also thinking in which social media affects relationships positively are, for example, couples that have gone on here, they share their experience,
Mm-hmm.
in a time where marriage is not something that is glorified or actually celebrated. And they give the hardship and how they work through relationships and good advice, and they reach out to and probably help out those that are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Or many people say, hey, listen, I'm going through the same thing, I'm not alone.
Right.
Oh, that's how they've worked it out. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And now, what about negative? You see any negativity? I know we discussed some of it already. Anything else that comes to mind negatively?
Mm, I mean, as a woman, I guess you could put a nice picture and, you know, and then you get all these nice compliments, and which are not bad, I don't think it's bad, but then you start sparking that jealousy with your partner if, wait, why? I guess I'm just gonna make up a name. Hey, why is Derek liking all your pictures?
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff. So that could be a negative, starting problems there because someone gets jealous, or maybe Derek sent a DM instead of liking the picture and just telling you, hey, you look beautiful.
Which I feel like that is negatively, and I believe it would be justified to be jealous, right? Don't you think? The other way around, right? If John is getting uh, DMs by Susie, and Susie is saying, "Hey, you're looking pretty good there, John. I like the way you're looking." I don't think the wife is going to be too happy about that, especially if John is not telling his wife about those DMs. So negatively, it opens the door for infidelity,
Yes,
and infidelity doesn't always have to be physically; it could be emotionally.
absolutely.
Especially in studies, I feel like women become emotionally attached to the person they're going to cheat with before it happens physically, right? Not
Hmm.
like men. Men are more physical. It doesn't mean as much.
Well, that's another one. You said men are physical. Well, men looking at pictures because nowadays you see a lot of girls, a little naked in their pictures, and then you guys start scrolling.
So the accessibility to a lot of things. So social media can negatively impact many of those issues, which we've already touched, does lead to trust issues.
Right.
You trust your partner way less because the accessibility to infidelity is a DM away. So those are definitely negative impacts that we could touch right before we move on is face-to-face communication with your partner.
Hmm.
You rather spend time on social media than actually speak to your partner.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Not that you're doing it consciously, but it does happen. You get lost in social media, looking at stuff, and then you jump into another thing, and then time goes by, and then you spend there like what 2 hours, and without you even noticing. But it's not that it happens consciously. Well, at least that's what I think.
Lack of communication, right, leads to divorces.
Right.
1 in 7 marriages that end in divorce were because of social media. Can you believe that? That's shocking to think about. 1 in 7 marriages that ended in divorce was because of social media. And we could just leave the infidelity to the side. Social media, your partner could feel neglected.
Right.
Growing up, remember my grandparents, my uncles, or my parents, they would say once the lights were out, they would communicate for hours about their day, their struggles, their goals, etc., their fears, what would be the next step for the family. And it would be hours and hours, right? But now your partner could be on that same time frame, be on social media for hours and hours, just scrolling, looking at memes and reels and things that entertain it instead of taking that time and having that connection, that bond that is lost because of social media.
Social media can be a distraction, in other words, I
Mhm.
guess. Just like a TV. I mean, back in the days, it was the TV. People would get distracted, TV, but now it's more broad, like social media, now. You can talk to someone from another country, or so it's more to see.
But even television, both of you could watch the TV at the same time.
Right.
Social media, you each one of you have your own phone, so it's actually more of a distance. If you think about it, it's even ripping the distance is
It's
even greater.
disconnecting you instead of bringing you together.
Correct.
Right,
And the
right.
hope, which is ironic, I've heard you say in the past, the point of social media was to quote unquote connect the
Connect,
world, right?
right. Hmm.
But we've never been more disconnected than ever before with social media.
I guess with the people that we're close to,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I guess it could play with kids too. Like we're on the phone and we don't pay attention to the kids, give me 1 second and you're on the phone. And,
Right.
you know, so with the people that are close to us, like, in our home or, I don't know, like that.
No, I'm going to elaborate a little bit on that. You're right. Social media affects our children, the bond, right?
Hmm.
Uh, Before cell phones, parents had no choice but to pay attention to us, right?
Yes.
Now kids, right? I mean, we didn't take our, I need to take more time and look into that, but kids obviously have more issues mentally now, right? Because they feel neglected,
Hmm.
it affects because at the end of the day, we're human and we all like that affection.
Hmm.
And it's funny, like just to mention it quickly again on the topic of divorce, right? And how negative effects also in divorce cases, which leads to the next segment, privacy. Do you feel that we have privacy with social media?
Mm, somewhat. Yes. No.
Because you could always control what you put on social
Right.
media.
Right.
But if you don't have the knowledge at the same time, just by posting up a picture, people will find where your location is, right?
Right.
Unless you go through certain settings, which most people are not knowledgeable enough to do.
Hmm.
So I believe that we've lost privacy. Also, when people are in any type of legal procedures or going through divorce, you have these attorneys scrutinizing your photos, your social media, even your comments on other people's posts.
Hmm.
So even though that we quote unquote live in the land of the free, right, and free speech, it's still scrutinized.
Hey, that's the lawyer's job.
It is, it is, it is. But at the same time, I guess that should also make us reflect.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, you're always being watched no matter what.
You're right.
So,
Do you think what are healthy boundaries that uh, you know couples should at least make when it comes to social media?
well, communicate with each other like, hey, at, by 7 o'clock, I'm not gonna be on my phone. I'm gonna put it away. Let's have a talk. What do you want to do? You want to go out? You want to watch a movie? So, yeah, setting a time where it's only for us, or on the weekends, let's just not touch our phones, you know, leave it to the side, put it on the table, just communicate, this are our time, this is work time, this is family time.
Good point. We always think about checking screen time for our children, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, when it comes to us, we don't think about that.
Yeah, no limits for us.
Right? No limits for us, but limits for them.
Right.
I guess that leads us to our call to action. I think as responsible adults, we should really encourage us to check our social media usage. How's it affecting our relationship? Is our spouse feeling neglected? Are we speaking to them less likely? We used to have dynamic conversations. Now we don't find ourselves doing that. Uh,
Self-analyze. I know that in the social media you could see like, okay, how long I was on Monday. I was 2 hours, or Tuesday. Then you start reflecting. Wait, I was 4 hours on Thursday. Like, what happened here? So you start analyzing. Okay, let me control myself. And yeah, pretty much don't don't let social media control you, or your phone control you, but you control how much time you're putting in it.
which think about it, life is short, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
just now that you brought it right, statistics. Oh, I've been on social media for 2 hours, 3 hours. You can't get that time back,
No.
right? And life is short. Enjoy the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we been in a restaurant and people are taking pictures of their food? Or they're singing happy birthday. Instead of them singing happy birthday and clapping their hands, they're too busy recording that.
Yeah.
You don't enjoy the moment. You don't get these moments back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to that, right? You've seen restaurants where they say, nope, no Wi Fi, no phones,
No phones.
right? Because let's enjoy the moment. It's short, it goes in the blink of an eye. Let's enjoy what we have. Let's not let social media, oh, I have to post this picture up because people need to know that I'm at a restaurant, that I'm happy, I'm celebrating someone's birthday right now. People don't care.
I mean, not that it's wrong. I mean, you could take a little picture, but don't spend all your time on the phone or sitting down and not communicating, meeting people. There's probably new people in the party. They want to get to know you.
We're making today short. We're reaching the very end. We want to
Mm-hmm.
thank our listeners
Yes.
for listening, and I hope this is a topic that helps us all reflect.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be giving us, more topics. Again, maybe you guys could put down in the comment section a topic that you want to be talked about. Give
Mm-hmm.
us ideas. Let us know what you want the next podcast to be about. So, do you believe that social media does affect all types of relationships? Yes or
No.
till next time.
Bye.